Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap homework session and trade plan setup for Monday, September the 9th, 2013. Before we get going, let's get the legals out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It is not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves a risk of loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any live trades that you see today are for education purposes. Please trade your own plan and do your own diligence. Now, if you're watching this video after the fact on the YouTube, this is where you might want to skip ahead. Each morning we go through a specific routine, where we go through our key numbers and our trade sheet to look at the different levels, and then we start with a macro to a micro view, very basic charting. We do this for a purpose. It's to get ourselves into the mindset of trading and to just put these numbers and refresh everything in our mind. But it is boring, it is tedious, we know that, but it's not something that I'm prepared to eliminate, so we continue to do that on a daily basis. You watching the video after the fact, there's really no need for you to watch this, although it is good to get into the routine to do it yourself. So you can skip ahead on the video to a spot where we actually get into the volume profile and more in-depth chart analysis. With that said, let's get right into the numbers. Our year open is still 1443, our year high is still 1705, and our year low 1438.25. And we are coming back up towards this 1705, which I believe is still somewhat of a weak high. Our month open this month was 1640.25. We have a high at 1664. Our month low is 1630.75. Our previous month open was 1685.50. Our previous month high is the all-time high and the year high at 1705. Our previous month low 1624.75 and our close 1632.25, and we are trading above the low and the close of last month. Our week open last week was 1640.25. Our week high was 1664 and our week low was 1630.75. And we closed at 1654. Nothing changes in the quarterly, so we'll go right to the intraday. We opened Friday in the Globex at 1652. We had a high at 1663.50 in the Globex and a low of 1648.50. And we opened the RTH session at 1659.25. That's the 8:30 Central Open. We had a open auction out of range. We opened up above the prior RTH range. We have a normal variation. We had a opening swing of 1660.50, a opening swing low of 1657.75 for a 2 3/4 point opening swing. Our initial balance high, 1661. Our initial balance low is 1638.75. This is a very, very wide initial balance, and this was based off of the response that Putin gave back to Obama, and really took us on a roller coaster ride and gave us some phenomenal opportunities to make some money, although in a very volatile environment. Our 1230 number is 1659.25. Our RTH high was 1664. Our RTH low was 1638.75. We closed at 1654.50 in the RTH, and our VPOC, again, is a higher VPOC at 1658.50. Very big range, 25.25 in the RTH, which was our full session range, and 15 in the Globex. Our full session high and low at 64 and 38.75, both put in the RTH. Our 20-day ATRs continue to expand out, just over 14.25, just over 17 for the full session, and 10 for the Globex. Our Globex open Sunday night, our week open, and our day open for today is 1652. Our European cash On Friday, the 10:30 number, 1659.25, was higher. Our value area was higher at 1658.50, but we did have a lower value area at 1649 for a 9.5 point value area range. And we broke the IB to the high side at 1249, way outside of the pocket. And it was a extremely weird day in terms of the market action, so really not typical of a break to the eye. When you have a 22.25 point initial balance, there was a possibility that we were going to have another normal day, which is very unusual. But as I mentioned in the live trading, I felt that we still, once we established coming back up into that 57.50 area and got right back to where we started, we are likely to break the IB to the high side, and we did at that 1249. Our extended session, 1654.50 is the high. Extended session low, 1653.75 for a settlement close at 1654. Volume was very heavy, obviously based on the news. People were liquidating their positions on the way down and then buying them back up on the way up. And our 20-day ATR on the extended session is 1.46. Going over to the daily report, nothing really changes in here. All the same levels that we were looking at. The big dip down really didn't make a big difference overall. Two significant LVNs from the RTH profile on Friday. 1655.75 is the one you should be watching, and then below 1651.75. We'll take a look at those on the charts. Our naked crosses, well, we took out a whole bunch. When you have that big of a swing, you're going to take out a bunch of naked crosses and add a few in. And some of these we've already taken out, so we'll take a look at the naked crosses when we get to the charts. But we did take out 39, 53.50, 54.50, and 1662.50. We took out two naked VPOCs, one at 63.50, one at 54.50. We really don't have any news of significance today. We already had the Canadian building permits, and we've got consumer credit at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Going into our macro to micro charts, we like to look at where we are in the trend on the different time levels. You can see that we're trading back up into the middle distribution of last month. We are above the low and the close of last month. We're above the 9 EMA. We're above the 20 SMA. We've got good slope and separation on the 9 and 20, and prices paralleling the 9 very nicely on the monthly. Overall trend very much intact. On the weekly, well, we came down. We had our first close 2 weeks ago below the 9 and the 20. That was the first close that we've had all year below the 20. But then last week we popped back up, and currently right now we've opened, come down, and we're just barely holding above the 9 and the 20. Trend is still intact. We still have this possible head and shoulder setting up, but overall, the weekly trend is still up. On the daily, well, we came down and we started to trend down. Then we had that big move up, and then we were trying to hold and get back above the 20 SMA. Then we had Friday that took us for a roller coaster ride, but we now are trading above the 9 and the 20 on the daily. And we actually have a possible inverted head and shoulders here on the daily, with the one shoulder here, the head here, and possibly setting up for a secondary shoulder on the daily. Just keep an eye on that. But the trend is inconclusive on the daily here. Taking a look at the geometric chart, this is the, just take the open interest off. This is the upward sloping fork that we are watching, and for a very long time we came down and tested the lower line of the upward sloping fork, broke down, tried to get back above, we couldn't hold, came back down. That's when I put this modified shift fork in, and so far we're coming off of the bottom of that and coming up towards the center line of the new modified upward sloping fork. We have this energy point right here at 78, 79 area between the two upward forks and the opposing downward fork. And we are coming and still within inside of the downward sloping fork. So if we break out and break below the 1630 area, I would look for a possibility of coming down to that area down in that 1581, 1575 area to test the center line of the downward sloping fork. Going to the intraday, nothing really, there's no real new information on the intraday. We are trending up on the 4-hour. We are staying above the 20. We are above the 9. We do have separation and starting to get some, some slope. So the 4-hour is showing that the trend is up on the intraday. Going to the 1-hour, sort of flattens out, doesn't give us any information. We're kind of consolidating, but we are trading above the 9 and the 20. We have just had oh no, it wasn't a cross, it was just a touch. Same thing on the 30-minute, really doesn't give us any information. We're just kind of consolidating and going sideways. So let's go and take a look at the composite. I've included Friday into the 2 days of balance for this new microcomposite that I drew. I played with it a whole bunch of different ways. I brought in, all the volume. It doesn't really give us any new information. It's still that 54, 50, 55 area that is the overall balance, and we're just trading above that. You can see that I drew the 2-day profile just before we fell out, and we talked about this on Friday in our session on Friday, that this 57.50 was the last most accepted price before we fell out of the overall balance that we were trading in and came down and started creating this balance below. Now we've moved up and broken back out of this lower balance down here, and we're finding value in between the 57.50 and the 53.50 of the current microcomposite and the 55 of the balance that we've fallen out of. So we're really trying to establish value here in around the 57.50 and this 58.50 CHVN. If we get back below the 55, I'd be looking for a move down and a rotation down to this 53, 52.75 area to see if we can hold there. If we break below that, the next area that I'd be looking to come down to test is that 50.50 CHVN, but more importantly, this 47.50, which is the value area low from the former microcomposite area down here. And if we get out of that, then we're getting into the balance below, and I'd be looking for a move down to the 44.25 and then test the other side of balance down here at 39.75, and the big number below being the 37.50, which was a naked microcomposite VPOC. We took it out on the breakout day, but it is the next big area that I would anticipate them going down and trying to find buyers down there. And then below that, you've got the 35.25, CLVN, which is the low of the current microcomposite, where we stopped the downward motion and then we took off from there. So the other side of that balance around 37.50, 35.25. And then if we get below that, I'd be looking for a move down to the other side of this, larger blunt area at 29.25 and the value area low at 29 down here. And then below that, you've got 27 and then 24.75, the CLVN and the low of the microcomposite, and the big number below, which is our naked microcomposite VPOC down here at 16.20 from this bigger area of balance that we traded around, and that would be my next target below. And then 15, 50, 75 being the other side of balance. I don't think we're going to see that today, but you never know. If we get above the current microcomposite VPOC, we've got the value area high at 60 1/4, the value area high from this prior microcomposite 62, and then above that is the big number we've been watching for a while now, is that 1667 CLVN, which really is the two defining lines between 67 and 29 1/4 in this area that we've been chopping around. And then if we get above that, you've got the 6750 from the high of this balance area, but the big number above is 70 1/4, which is that naked microcomposite VPOC, which is the most accepted price before we launch to make new highs of the year. And we came down, missed it on the way down. We gapped it on this down. We came up and missed it by a few ticks. So it is our destination point above and our immediate target above today if we can get through 67. Above that, the other side of balance is the 72 1/4, and then above that is that 77 50 CH-band, or the 78 to 79, which is that energy point that we have on the geometric chart. And the big number above, of course, is the former microcomposite VPOC and naked VPOC, MC VPOC above, which is at 86.75, which is the overall most accepted price in the balance that we came off of after we made the new highs. And then if we get up here, then I'd be looking for a move to go and take out this naked microcomposite VPOC, which was the highest price we tried to hold after making the the new high, and then a possible move to go up and take out the year high and the overall all-time high. Be diligent today. Of course, we've still got a lot of Syrian risk, headline risk going on. I'm sure they're going to start bringing in the talks about debt ceiling and tapering again. So you never know what's on the table. So just keep it tight. Make sure you've got your stops in place and you're not trading too large. So let's take a look at the overnight and move our numbers over for our trade plan. Let me get these numbers out of here. All right, so we have an overnight high at 59.75. We still have time, so this could, considering where we're trading, we could go up and make a new high before the RTH, and we'll have to make adjustments on that. And then the overnight low is down at 52, which is one tick above that significant LVN at 51.75. And then the current VPOC is 57 1/4, which is just below our Friday VPOC at 58.50. I don't think we'll see the the Globex VPOC shift. So it looks like we're going to open up in the middle distribution of the of Friday. So you've got a key area right here, which is at that 55.50 LVN that I posted on the QLTP. It is also right there, which is the other side of balance around this 58.59, the CLVN at 55.75. So I will be looking to do business here. This will be one of my trade areas for the day. If we get through this, if we come down and challenge this and we get through this, we have the naked close at 54.50 just below, and then of course the overnight low and that LVN at 51.50, and I'll be looking to do business in this area as well. And then above us we've got the IB high from Friday and the LVN at 61. This will be another area that I'll be looking to do business. And then above that, you've got the value area high from Friday at 63, the high at 64, and we've got that naked cross. We came up and missed it by 3 ticks at 64. So I'll be looking to do business at the little LVN here at 63, and once we get above the value area high from yesterday or from Friday, for a move to possibly go up and take out that naked cross and test new highs, and more importantly come up here and test this 67 and see if we can get outside of this blunt area that we've been trading in and go up and take out that 70 and a quarter. I'm expecting opening up in balance that we're going to be right in balance, so there's going to be two-way action on the open. So just don't get into a trade too quickly unless you see some serious opposing force taking control. I would say that we'd likely chop around here, take out the naked VPOC at 58.50. Everything seems pretty strong overnight, and I would be looking to take out the naked VPOC in the overnight and test the 61, at which time we'll see if they can continue, the buyers continue to stay in control and go up and test the value area high and the RTH high. But if we come down and we get sellers stepping in right away, look for a move down to this 55-75 area, which would be the first spot that I would think that they would defend and have possible buyers stepping in there. But if they get through there, we go for the gap close and take out the overnight high and test the LVN. We have a pretty much a triple distribution, if not a quad distribution, because of that big move down. But we do have a pretty serious buying tail that we created with that big move down to, off of that Putnam news. And more importantly, we're trading above the Thursday value, and we're, getting into and coming up to the value from this 26, I think it's the 26, right? Yeah, 826. And if we get inside of this value and accept the value, then I'd be looking up to move to the POC up here. It's not naked, but it is the POC from that 826 area, and accept higher value and push higher to that 67. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of the intraday. In terms of the Keltner, our center line is right here at the 56.75. The upper Keltner test will bring us up to 62.75, which will test that 62 value area low from that upper microcomposite that we're in. A move down to 50.75 will test that CHVN at 50.50. Taking a quick look at gold. Gold continues to to trade in around this 88 from the former long-term microcomposite that we were trading in. I'm not expecting gold to do a lot today. I would watch the 82.40. If we get below that, I would look for a move down to the 74 and back down to that 66 level again. But personally, in my opinion, we hold 82.40. We've come down and tested that a couple times, and it's holding. And I think we play ping pong between 88, the former microcomposite VPOC, and the current one that's up here at 96, and come up and tap on that 1400 level and the CLVN at 99 and a quarter. And then if we can break out of that, 1404 and 1413.90 is my targets above, with that 1460 being the value area high that we're currently trading in. And above that, a move up to that 24 and 34 level again. So that's what I'm looking at. Howard, over to you.
Thank you, Doug. So just checking the weekly chart, we see that last week was mostly constrained by the 20 SMA here and the 9 EMA here, as were the 2 weeks prior to that. So the moving averages are still converging. Currently, we're just testing a little bit above the 9 EMA. So, during this consolidation phase, we're still waiting to let the market tell us whether it wants to break to the upside or break to the downside. So we'll be looking for that question to be answered this week. Going to the daily. So last Friday, when we had that very wide news-driven swing and range, we ended up pretty much in the middle where we started. We tested above the 20 here and the 50 here, rejected from above. We also tested below the 9 EMA and rejected from below to basically close in between the daily 20 and the daily 9. So far during Globex, we've broken above the 20 SMA, haven't quite gotten up to test the 50 yet, but these are the key levels that I'm looking for on the daily chart. Now, in terms of Elliott wave count, I was looking at this entire move down from the high of the year at 1705 to be a first wave lower, and we can see this retracement. It's pretty much following a channel and has a lot of overlapping price action. I'm looking at this as being wave 2. So I have my first wave 2 target at 64.75. So thus far we've come up to 64. So we got within 3 ticks of that first target and then retreated. If we do break above that, my next target would be up here at 1674.25. So in terms of wave counts, that's what I'm looking for. It's possible that maybe we've already hit our wave 2 target, but we are showing some strength overnight. We'll see if that continues into the RTH and see if we actually go back and hit the target that we missed by 3 ticks, and if we exceed it, then we have another 10 points or so up to 74.25 to play with. So looking at some internals, the Dow Transports and Industrials still are maintaining the relationship they've been maintaining throughout the year, so nothing significant to note there. We look at the sectors. So we have kind of a mix here. We have many that are pretty flat. Some have moved slightly lower, like retail. Some are moving higher, like home builders and utilities, which are currently in the bottom position. Utilities has taken over the seller in terms of sector performance, but all sectors are above the start of the year. Utilities being the worst performer at right around 4% on the year up. So looking at our advanced declines and up-down volume. So from Friday's activity, both advanced declines in the middle and up-down volume in the lower chart retreated a little bit. These represent a 10-day average measure of these indicators. This line here at 50% is the break-even level, so both the NYSE and the NASDAQ pretty much at the break-even level on a 10-day average basis. Looks like the NASDAQ has now slightly moved below the NYSE, so it has performed a little bit weaker lately. In the up-down volume, NASDAQ still is a little stronger than the NYSE, and both are above the 50% level, so that indicates that the market strength is still higher to up volume than down volume. So, as we noted earlier, both of these indicators bottomed on August 19th prior to the bottom in price and started getting stronger, and price bottomed here on the 28th, and then it has started getting stronger. So these indicators sometimes give you an early signal that the market may be due to, if not change trend, at least do some retracement, and that's what we've seen after this period here. So we'll see if this is just a temporary bump on the move up and we continue higher, or whether we may top here and the indications might move a little bit lower, which would coincide with the timing and price of the getting near the first wave 2 target. So we'll keep an eye on that. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Doug.
Thanks, Howard.
About 12 minutes to open.
Yep. All right, that will conclude our homework session and market analysis and trade plan setup for Monday, September the 9th, 2013. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.